Breaking news, Viking Nation. The chaos is spreading like wildfire through Minneapolis, and 5 earth-shattering revelations are about to rock our Purple Kingdom to its very foundation. Backup quarterbacks are thrust into a spotlight that could define entire careers. Our superstar receiver is licking his chops at a golden opportunity that could explode into legendary status. A childhood dream is about to become reality in the most emotional way imaginable. Defensive reinforcements are marching toward battle just when we need them most, and a bitter betrayal has struck our practice squad in ways that sting deeper than expected. Each of these bombshells carries the power to reshape our season's destiny, to determine whether we rise as conquerors or fall as casualties in the brutal war that is NFL football. The tension is electric, the stakes are astronomical, and what unfolds next will echo through the frozen tundra of Minnesota sports history forever. Buckle up, Warriors, because this purple storm is about to unleash its fury, and the first lightning strike is heading straight for your heart. But hold on. As shocking as that sounds, the real earthquake starts right here with a battle of backup quarterbacks that nobody saw coming. Sunday's clash isn't just Vikings versus Bengals anymore. It's become a war between 2 men fighting for respect, relevance, and the right to prove they belong on football's biggest stage. Carson Wentz and Jake Browning are stepping out of the shadows and into the blinding spotlight, carrying the hopes and fears of 2 desperate fan bases on their battle-scarred shoulders. For Wentz, this moment transcends football. The North Dakota native who used to wave purple towels in the Metrodome is about to live out every childhood fantasy imaginable. Believe it or not, my family was already planning to come, Wentz revealed with obvious emotion. Now there's even more coming. Everybody's pretty excited. You never wish for injuries, but just the way this has happened, to get a chance for the team I grew up cheering for, close to home, all those things. Meanwhile, Browning is carrying his own burden after what Joe Burrow suffered a devastating turf toe injury that will sideline the Bengal superstar for months. The Cincinnati backup went 4-3 as a starter in 2023 when Burrow was injured, but this time feels different, more urgent, more make or break for his NFL future. Ted, I don't think you really know until you know what it feels like to start on short notice, Browning admitted. And so in 2023, I had no idea what all that was going to feel like. I kind of had to make some adjustments on the fly. Both teams are devastated by injuries that have turned this showdown into a referendum on depth, coaching, and the ability to overcome adversity when everything seems to be falling apart. The Bengals also lost first-round pick Shamar Stewart to an ankle injury, while the Vikings are missing J.J. McCarthy with a high ankle sprain, Aaron Jones with a hamstring issue, and potentially Ryan Kelly and Justin School with concussion concerns. This is where legends are born or buried, where backup dreams either soar or crash in spectacular fashion. Can Wentz channel the purple magic he felt as a kid in those Metrodome stands? Can Browning prove he's more than just a temporary solution holding down the fort? If you believe in backup quarterbacks more than you trust franchise starters, smash that like button and show the NFL that depth matters more than star power. Sunday's battle will separate the pretenders from the contenders. And both fan bases are about to discover exactly what their backup plans are truly worth. And just when fans thought quarterback drama was the only storyline, here comes the next bombshell that has every defensive coordinator in Cincinnati losing sleep. Justin Jefferson might be about to unleash absolute hell on a wounded Bengals secondary, and the opportunity for legendary status is sitting right there, waiting to be seized. Our Purple Prince hasn't had the explosive start we're accustomed to. Just 7 catches for 125 yards through 2 games while building chemistry with the rookie McCarthy. But everything is about to change in the most spectacular way possible. The Bengals' starting cornerbacks, Cam Taylor-Britt and DJ Taylor, are both nursing injuries that could leave Jefferson in single coverage, one-on-one matchups, and isolated opportunities that turn elite receivers into Hall of Fame legends. Think about the beautiful irony here. Jefferson struggled slightly while working with an inexperienced quarterback, but now he gets Carson Wentz, a veteran who knows exactly how to find elite talent and exploit defensive weaknesses. This is the kind of setup that produces 200-yard receiving games, the kind of matchup that turns Sunday afternoons into highlight reel masterpieces that get replayed for decades. Jefferson is completely healthy, completely focused, and completely ready to remind the football world why he's the most dangerous weapon in the NFL when given favorable matchups. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Wentz making his emotional debut for his childhood team, needing a reliable target to lean on, facing a secondary that's compromised by injury and uncertainty. This is where MVP campaigns are launched, where all-pro seasons explode into existence, where the best receiver in football shows everyone exactly why that title belongs to him and nobody else. Minnesota is averaging just 16.5 points per game through 2 contests, but those numbers become meaningless when your superstar gets favorable coverage and your quarterback knows how to exploit it. Before the injury, McCarthy completed 24 of 41 passes for 301 yards, but imagine what those numbers look like when Jefferson is running free through a wounded Bengal secondary. Jordan Mason has been solid with 98 rushing yards. But this game could belong entirely to the aerial attack if Jefferson gets the matchups he's salivating over. Can Cincinnati find a way to double-team our superstar without leaving massive holes elsewhere? Can they afford to ignore T.J. Hawkinson and to Jalen Naylor while focusing all their attention on Jefferson? If you believe in elite talent more than you fear injured secondaries, hit that subscribe button and join the Jefferson Explosion Party. Sunday could be the day our superstar reminds everyone exactly why he's the most feared receiver in the entire NFL. Stay with me, because what comes next will flip the script in ways nobody predicted, turning this Sunday showdown into the most emotionally charged game of Carson Wentz's entire career. This isn't just another start for a veteran quarterback fighting for relevance. This is a North Dakota kid living out his wildest childhood dreams in front of the fans who shaped his love for football. Carson Wentz grew up in Bismarck, making family trips to the Metrodome, waving purple towels, participating in Skol chants, and dreaming of the day he might wear the jersey that represented everything magical about NFL football. "I grew up rooting for this team," Wentz said with obvious emotion. "It's one of those things. You play long enough, and you can kind of forget about those things because it's football. You're bouncing around teams. But being here, I kind of alluded to it when I first got here, just how cool it is for me. I used to cheer for the guys that I'm walking down the hallway seeing on the walls. I used to come to the Metrodome, and I was waving the towel. I was part of the Skol chants, all the things. So running out of the tunnel this week will probably hit me a little bit different in a really cool, kind of surreal way. Can you imagine the chills running through his entire body when he leads the team onto the field? This will be Wentz's 95th career start, his first meaningful game since 2022 in Washington, and the most emotionally significant moment of his professional life. He'll become the first player in NFL history to start games for 6 different franchises within 6 seasons: Philadelphia, Indianapolis, Washington, Los Angeles, Kansas City, and now his beloved Minnesota. The journey has been painful, filled with setbacks, questions about his ability, and doubts about whether he'd ever get another real opportunity. But Kevin O'Connell has proven his magic touch with veteran quarterbacks, turning Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold into stars who earned massive contracts elsewhere after spending time in Minnesota. Now it's Wentz's turn to benefit from that quarterback whispering, surrounded by elite talent like Jefferson, Hawkinson, and Mason carrying the rushing attack. The offensive line remains a concern with Shice, Christian Darrisaw, and Ryan Kelly, dealing with injury questions. But there's something poetic about a childhood Viking fan getting his shot exactly when the team needs leadership most. How many nights did young Carson dream of throwing touchdown passes in purple? How many times did he imagine leading fourth-quarter comebacks for the team that captured his heart as a boy? Sunday, all those dreams collide with reality in the most beautiful, emotional way possible. This is bigger than football. It's about destiny, childhood wishes, and proving that sometimes the universe has perfect timing for the most incredible stories. If you believe in fairy tale endings more than you doubt veteran comebacks, smash that like button and show Wentz that Viking Nation supports our own. This could be the most emotionally charged performance of the entire NFL season. But trust me, the story only gets more interesting from here. Because while we're celebrating emotional comebacks, defensive reinforcements are marching toward battle just when we need them most. Brian Flores and the Purple Defense are about to get a massive injection of talent that could completely change the complexion of Sunday's showdown against Cincinnati. Andrew Van Ginkel, our starting outside linebacker, who suffered a concussion in Week 1, is tracking perfectly for a return after the standard 9-day recovery protocol. Kevin O'Connell delivered promising news this week. We're expecting good news about Okudah and Gink, as they're in whatever phase of the protocol and can start their workouts and get over that last hurdle to hopefully be available this week. Van Ginkel's return would be massive for a defense that's currently ranked 8th in the NFL by EPA per play, 6 spots below last year's dominant unit. But that's not the only reinforcement heading our way. Jeff Okudah, our cornerback, who also suffered a concussion against Chicago, is following the same recovery timeline and could be available for Sunday's battle. Okudah only played 16 defensive snaps in that Bears victory, but he won the CB3 position during training camp and provides crucial depth in a secondary that desperately needs bodies. Without him last week, Dwight McGlothern struggled to a 51.1 Pro Football Focus grade in limited action, highlighting exactly why we need Okudah's experience and talent back on the field. The potential returns don't stop there. Harrison Smith, our legendary safety who's been battling an undisclosed health issue for over a month, is reportedly close to returning to game action. Smith told reporters last week he was nearing a comeback, and if he's cleared, the defensive transformation would be complete. Think about the impact here. Van Ginkel terrorizing opposing quarterbacks, Okudah providing secondary depth, Smith anchoring the back end with his veteran leadership and instincts. These aren't just depth pieces, they're difference makers who could completely alter how we attack Cincinnati's struggling offense. The Bengals, without Burrow, become infinitely more manageable when we have our full complement of defensive weapons. Van Ginkel's pass-rushing ability becomes crucial against Jake Browning, who doesn't have Burrow's pocket presence or quick decision-making. Okudah's coverage skills matter more when facing Jamar Chase and the Bengal receiving corps. Smith's leadership and communication become vital in high-pressure moments when games are won or lost. Minnesota is currently favored by 2 or 3 points despite all the injury concerns. But imagine those odds with a healthy defense taking the field. The timing couldn't be more perfect. We need these reinforcements now, before the schedule gets brutal with Eagles, Chargers, Lions, and Ravens waiting after the bye week. If you believe in defensive depth more than you fear injury reports, hit that subscribe button and show Flores that Viking Nation trusts his system. Sunday could be the day our defense announces its return to elite status. And listen closely. The next chapter might just divide the fan base in ways we never expected. Because while we're celebrating potential returns, a bitter betrayal has struck our practice squad that stings deeper than any injury report. Khalef Hailasi, the safety who showed flashes of brilliance during preseason action, has been poached by the Jacksonville Jaguars and elevated to their 53-man roster. This isn't just another practice squad move. This is a direct assault on our depth development, a reminder that talented players don't wait around forever for opportunities that may never come. Hailasi joined the Vikings in January on a futures contract, survived the entire offseason program, got cut on August 26th cutdown day, then re-signed to our practice squad where he was developing into something special. The kid from Elk Grove, California, had an incredible preseason against the Houston Texans, intercepting 2 passes after making the transition from cornerback to safety. Kevin O'Connell was impressed enough to comment, "It really just jumped out to us with whether it's Josh Metellus working through what he's working through with his foot, or whatever it was, it just seemed like some snaps were there, and he's got corner coverage skills and a physicality and ball skills that seem to fit with how we play football here. But now he's gone, stolen by a Jaguar organization that recognized talent we weren't ready to promote. The timing stings because we're dealing with safety concerns throughout the roster. Harrison Smith battling health issues, and depth questions that could have been answered by keeping Halesi around. Jacksonville just cut former Packers safety Darnell Savage, creating the perfect opportunity for our former practice squad player to step into a meaningful role. Halesi's college resume at Western Kentucky was impressive. 122 tackles, 19 passes defensed, 4 interceptions, 3.0 sacks, 2 forced fumbles in 26 games, earning All-Conference USA honors both seasons. His NFL journey included stops with Kansas City, Cleveland, and Minnesota, accumulating 105 defensive snaps and 102 special team snaps, all with the 2023 Browns defense that ranked first in football. The loss represents something bigger than just one player. It's about our ability to develop and retain talent, about whether we're maximizing the potential of players who could contribute immediately. Think about Theo Jackson, who we poached from Tennessee's practice squad in 2022 and turned into a starting safety. Now Jacksonville is hoping to duplicate that success with our former player. This is the cruel reality of NFL roster management, where talented players slip through the cracks and end up haunting the teams that let them go. How many times have we seen practice squad players explode into stardom elsewhere while we wonder what could have been? Can Halesi become another success story that makes us regret this loss? Will Jacksonville's gain become our long-term pain when safety depth becomes crucial? If you believe in developing young talent more than you trust veteran mediocrity, smash that like button and demand better roster management. The NFL is a business, but losing promising players to division rivals should never feel this preventable. And if this week felt like an emotional roller coaster, what's coming next could be the loop-de-loop that defines our entire season trajectory. We've got backup quarterbacks battling for respect and relevance in a showdown that nobody predicted. We've got Jefferson salivating over injured cornerbacks like a predator sensing wounded prey. We've got Wentz living out his childhood dreams while carrying the hopes of an entire state on his weathered shoulders. We've got defensive reinforcements marching back from injury just when the battle lines are drawn for Sunday's war. And we've got the bitter taste of losing talent to rivals who recognize potential we weren't ready to unleash. This Sunday against Cincinnati isn't just about winning or losing. It's about identity. It's about proving that Viking Nation never surrenders in the face of adversity, whether it comes from injury reports or roster decisions or quarterback controversies. The purple pride that flows through our frozen veins is stronger than any doubt, any setback, any obstacle that dares to stand between us and our destiny. We've endured decades of heartbreak, decades of almost moments, decades of dreams deferred, but we're still here, still believing, still ready to storm the gates of Valhalla when the moment arrives. Wentz gets his fairy tale moment. Jefferson gets his favorable matchups, our defense gets its reinforcements, and Viking Nation gets another chance to prove that loyalty runs deeper than any temporary struggle. If you bleed purple and gold more than you fear any adversity, if you believe in this team more than you trust outside criticism, if you're ready to march into battle alongside every warrior wearing our colors, then destroy that like button, annihilate that subscribe button, and let the entire NFL know that Viking Nation is awake, angry, and absolutely unstoppable. Comment below with your predictions for Sunday's emotional showdown. Tell us which storyline has your heart racing fastest, and prove that you're ready to ride with this team through whatever storms await in the frozen north. Because if you thought this was peak drama, the real blizzard is just beginning to form on the horizon, and next week's revelations might just change everything we thought we knew about this purple and gold journey we're taking together.